Hi besties! I don't think my most recent vlog will be up by the time I post this, but quick update, I'm in England. I've been reunited with all my books. If you want to hear more about that, watch my vlog that is coming soon. In this video, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about all the books that I bought in April. I think I've mainly bought Kindle books this month. I think I've only bought one physical book and everything else has been like a Kindle book on a Kindle deal. I will get this video out before the end of April so you can quickly go in and snap some of these books up for 99p if you want to. Let's look at what I bought. I have to write it all down because I can just never remember. Okay, so let's get started with books that I bought for 99p on Kindle. The first book I bought for 99p on Kindle was A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. So this is by the author of the Bridge Kingdom series, and this series seems to have been much bigger in the UK and gained a lot of traction. I really wanted it when it first came out. I hadn't even heard of her as an author, but I really wanted it just because the cover was so beautiful and it was like done in the most amazing, beautiful hardback. But I have not got that yet. I resisted buying it because my series is out of control, and I've bought it on my Kindle because it's on 99p, which is super exciting. This book is basically a romantic novel based on Norse mythology? Based on Norse mythology. Lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Based on Norse mythology. This story is basically a romantic novel based on Norse mythology. Smashed it. I don't know why that was such a tongue twister. Anyway, I've never read a book on Norse mythology before, and I'm really excited to read it. I'm hoping those words aren't in the book loads though, because clearly I can't say them. I think, and I've looked at Goodreads to try and understand what this book's about, because honestly, I knew I wanted to read this book because the cover's so pretty. It's basically about an ordinary girl who is not so ordinary, of course. She has goddess powers, and our main character has to undergo challenges from the gods whilst also not falling in love with the god's son, I think. And she has to do these challenges to unlock her powers. It sounds quite interesting. I haven't read many books that are as related to the gods, or I have, but I feel like they haven't like satiated that need. I don't know, I feel like every time I read a book that has got the gods in it, like mythical gods, it never seems to like be in depth enough. The world building never seems to be like as much as I want it to. It feels like there's more of a backstory using the gods rather than it being part of the story. So I'm hoping here it's a bit more integral to the world building, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm hoping with this one, but I'm hoping I like it. I'm sorry if I've over like simplified or butchered the plot if you've read it, because that is like me. I've just had a quick look on Goodreads and guessed what I think it's about essentially, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Next up we have a history novel, because your girl is trying to read more history, and last month I read Queen Victoria by Lucy Worsley, so I then saw another one of her books on Kindle 99p deals, which is Jane Austen at Home. I love Jane Austen, love her classics. I've got like, oh, you can't see all of them. Got some of them here. I've got more copies down there. Too many copies of Jane Austen books. So why not read a book about Jane Austen herself? Yeah, I'm excited to read this one. It's a biography of her life, but it's told through where she lived and the spaces that she occupied. I really enjoy reading about female history, and I really enjoy reading about writers or writing as a process. And I enjoy reading about bookish people and bookish things, so I think this will be a really interesting history novel for me, and I'm very excited to read it. I have got 2 more Jane Austen novels to read before I have read all of her works, so I'm going to make sure I read those first. They're on my 2025, so I'm going to read them first and then I will read that book. So the next book we have is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the Divine Rivals duology. Of course I had to buy it when I saw it was on 99p. I'm trying to finish my series and it's on 99p. Perfect. I really enjoyed the first book, Divine Rivals. It's a romantasy story set in a world where there's 2 gods and they're at war, and we're then following this girl Iris, who is a writer who enters a competition to be in the local newspaper, and then ends up being like a war journalist. That's the gist of the story, and ends up seeing different things that are going on in this war. I could go into more details about the plot of that first book, and I think even the blurb of the first book goes into more details about it. However, I think the blurb and everything gives too much away. I would just say for this book, go in, read it and just enjoy it for what it is. If you like romantasy, if you like fantasy, if you like anything that's like a little bit political and a little bit about writing, then this one you'll probably enjoy. enjoy. I think it's more enjoyable if you know less about it. I'm really looking forward to reading the second one. I hope it's as good as the first. Going back to what I was saying earlier when I was talking about Danielle Jensen's book, I really hope this one goes into more detail about the gods and the actual war itself, because I'm really enjoying following our main characters. The world building in this book is very simple, effective, but I do want to know more about like the gods and the war that's going on, and it would be cool to see some more of that world building and find out more about the gods in this world that she has built. Next up we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and again I had to buy this one. It's in a series I need to finish, so perfect excuse. I was waiting to buy the physical copy of this book because I love the covers. I just think the covers for these books are so like pretty and girly, and they'll look nice on my shelf, but it was on 99p, so I just thought, why not? Then if I need a romance, I can read that. I say if I need a romance, like if I'm like, I need to read a romance, like as if something will go wrong, like if I want to read a romance. This book is the second book in the Maple Hills series, which is all set at the Maple Hills University. Icebreaker was the first book, and we then have this one, and then we have Daydream. I've not heard too much about Wildfire, but I've heard loads of good things about Daydream, which is why I really wanted to continue reading the series. So this book is set at a summer camp, which is quite fun, but like when I think about summer camp books, I don't think I've really read any apart from God of the Woods by Liz Moore, which is a story that is nothing like this one and is about like a mystery novel about a child that goes missing at summer camp. And it's a great book. It makes me think of summer camp books as quite spooky and like eerie. And I know this is like not the vibe of this book at all, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I'm just getting like, I don't know what vibes to get from this. I'm hoping it'll be good fun though. We need like cutesy, girly, lovey summer camp vibes. Let's change the narrative of summer camps in my head. Next up, we have Everyone I Know Is Dying by Emily Slapper. This book is one I had not heard of, but I realised that I bought quite a few books by this point, and I hadn't bought any that were by debut authors. And I think this is the thing when you're trying to finish series, you end up going for people that like, you know. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I at least bought one book this month by a debut author, and I went for this one. It's a literary fiction novel focused on womanhood, relationships, and mental health. I just love books that are really reflective on the female experience, so I think this one will be one that I enjoy. I just was really intrigued when it sort of flagged that up on Amazon. The plot of this book is basically the main character gets a big promotion. She gets like this like promotion that she's dreamed of, and yet she's still miserable. It's basically her experience of that, and I think this is going to be quite reflective on redefining success. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, because that's something I've really tried to do in my life, like define my own version of success and happiness and not make it dependent on like external things. Yeah, I'm hoping this novel is just going to explore that a bit more. If you've read that one, make sure you comment below what your thoughts are, because I don't think I've seen much of it anywhere and I want to know what people think. Next up, we have The Convenience Store by the Sea. This is a translated fiction novel by Sonoko Machida, and I really hope I've said their name right. If I haven't, I'm sorry. I don't know who it was, but someone posted this book on Instagram with like the most amazing review saying how much they loved it and why they loved it. And I can't remember who that was, and I'm really sorry. I should have screenshotted it at the time, but it just made me like, when I saw this book when I was like, I remember someone saying how much they loved that book, and it made me want to read it. So I was like, I'm buying this straight away. Exciting! This book is basically about a convenience store in Japan and all the different people that visit it and how it's very much at the heart of the community and how it helps people deal with loneliness. Again, I think this is meant to be a very reflective story, and I just really am enjoying reading books that are really reflective on the human experience at the moment, and I think this one is going to be exactly that, so I'm excited to read it. Next up, we have... Are my dogs finished barking? Next up we have My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies by Frederick Backman. That's what it's published in the UK as. Abroad it's published as something different. It's My Grandmother Asked to Tell You She's Sorry. So like they've published it in the UK as something much more like fancy. I don't know why. Like never do I ever say to someone, I send my regards and apologies. Or just say sorry. Strange. Anyway, I bought this book because I know I want to read more Frederick Backman. He's just one of those authors I know I want to read more of. I've really enjoyed Beartown. I'm about to read Us Against You. And yeah, I'm really enjoying his writing style. It's so unique. So I thought, whilst it's on 99p, perfect time to buy it. This book is basically about a grandmother who tells her granddaughter all these stories, and they have like a really, really great relationship. But then the grandmother dies, and she basically leaves these letters in which she apologises to all the people she has wronged and hurt, and her granddaughter has the job of delivering all these letters, and it's basically the story of how the granddaughter deals with that and the adventure that this takes her on. This book apparently really celebrates difference and being yourself, and it's just meant to be a really fun and quite heartwarming read, so yeah, I think it sounds really good. Okay guys, this is the last book I bought on my Kindle before one physical read that I'll tell you about, and it is The Bookshop Woman by Nanako Hanada. I literally, again, hadn't heard of this book, and I just like saw the front cover, read the description, and I was like, hello, I like the sound of that. The blurb literally describes organising books as a hobby, like separate from reading, and I was like, yes, this author, we're on a wavelength, so I feel already invested in this character. So this book actually isn't a novel. I thought this book was a novel, but it's not. It's a memoir, which is, I've just been looking it up. It's a memoir, super exciting. And it's basically a memoir about her experience online dating and giving the people that she's dating a book recommendation because she is a bookseller, which just sounds so fun. I've never read anything like that before, and I love like a unique book. Again, I think it is a translated fiction. Yes, it is a translated fiction from Japan, and it was a bestseller in Japan, and I just feel like that sounds really fun. I'm really excited to read that. Picking my May TBR is going to be so hard. Maybe I'll have to do a TBR jar. Oh, I'm at home. I need to read my physical TBR. Okay, so I did buy one physical book too, even though I'm not meant to be buying physical books, but obviously I had a good reason. I bought Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I will also be buying A Great Big Beautiful Life when I can get my hands on that. I bought Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm already like 2/3 of the way through. I'm loving it. It's so good. It's weird coming back to England and coming back to my parents' house, that's where I'm staying, and I'm in like my teenage bedroom and I'm reading The Hunger Games again, and it's like, where have the past 10 years gone? Probably longer than that, but yeah, it's just interesting coming back and reading, like entering the same world that like I fell in love with reading. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know, it feels so nostalgic reading this book where I first fell in love with The Hunger Games. This was like the location that I first read The Hunger Games and fell in love with reading. So yeah, that makes it all the more fun. If you haven't seen the hardcover of this book, it's so nice. Like, how nice is that? I think I actually prefer it without the dust cover on. I kind of don't want to lose the dust jacket either, so it's just so nice it being cloth bound underneath that cover, because I'm like, I don't hate this cover, but I'm not a massive fan of it. And inside as well, it's so pretty. That is everything that I have bought this month. Obviously I have been reunited with my books, so I feel like I've gained loads of books. There were so many good Kindle deals this month. I really struggled to like only buy that. My dogs are going crazy. There were so many good books on Kindle this month. It was really hard to pick just a few to buy, but I think I chose really well, if I do say so myself. Let me know if you end up reading any of these books or if you've read them, comment below. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. Comment a pink sparkly heart if you have, because it's nice to know that you watched all the way to the end. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video.